QuickBooks can be used to keep records for a delivery pharmacy regarding sales, deliveries, invoices, and customer payments. This video is the first of 3 videos, and it will show the general setup and navigation. This file only includes orders, sales, and payments. This file does not include purchases or expenses. So if you use this, you will have to track those separately somewhere else. The inventory module is active in order to achieve our goal, but the parts are one-sided, non-inventory parts. That's because this is the only way to track back-ordered items without including purchases. I was directed in this case by the client not to track quantity on hand or match the transactions to the bank account or the chart of accounts. So this is a separate standalone system that only manages orders, deliveries, which are really sales, and the payments from the customers. So what's covered in this video? Well, first we'll explore the shortcuts in the icon bar. So we look at the icon bar here, and you see we have open sales orders by customer and open sales orders by item. Then we have the separators. These 2 reports will help you manage your orders regarding what to prepare for delivery and what to tell the client. And once we start recording orders, you'll see the difference between them and why we need both of them and how they help us. Then, once we actually deliver, you will see that the customer will have a balance. The best report will be this report, Customer Balance Detail, and it will show you every delivery that you sent an invoice requesting payment for, as well as every payment that the customer gave you, and it will track the running balance, and you can manage your financial relationship with your customers that way. Of course, you could also use these other 3, which I'll explore in a moment, but I want to show you over here you have sales order, invoice, and payment. The items here, after all the reports, these are the only 3 events you're going to record and the only 3 transactions you're going to make. First, you're going to record the sales orders. Maybe they come from the internet or maybe you enter them manually. And you may notice that even though the title bar says sales order, both you and the customer will see the word invoice. So QuickBooks knows it's only a request until it's actually delivered, but they will see invoice when you print it so that you can get the signature on something that says invoice in order to send it for a request for payment. And you'll make sure the proper template is chosen. Then, after the orders are in, you will click the Open Sales Order by Customer and print it out so that you can make the deliveries. And this report will help you make the deliveries. And I'm going to show you how that'll help you in the next video, the video that follows this one. Then, of course, once you confirm that you delivered all the items, then you would make an invoice for each individual order that was put in. Then, of course, after you bill the clients for the orders, you will click Payment and you will record receiving payments from the client. Now, these 3 items on the right, I don't know if you can see Find Transaction here if I open it up a little. These 2 reports and this tool over here are meant to help you find things in the file. Now, 90% of the time you won't need those, but if your accountant comes, you might. So be aware that every once in a while you might have to come here, but 90% of the time you'll have to go just right here. The customer window shows every event by customer. Make sure that you don't choose the Transactions tab, that you choose the Customer tab. And of course, when you click on a customer, the Transaction tab for that customer shows a list of every event, every order, delivery, invoice, or payment that you had with that customer, and you can even filter that by date. You can compare those transactions to the notes you take for the customer. So if I click Alan, or if I click Betty, and I see I have notes for Betty. Back on May 12th, I wrote down a note and I date and time stamped it. Then I made another one on the 11th, and I'm going to compare that to the list of transactions. But even though this window is great, you still have to use the open sales order by customer to make sure you deliver back orders, and open sales order by item to make sure you have enough in stock. So this setup will give you everything you need, and I'm going to demonstrate how it works in the following 2 videos. So now, let's input and change the customer information. Well, of course, you could always double-click on the name, and you can change their permanent information. Anything you put here will show up in the Bill To window, or anything else we print for that particular customer. And of course, this field here only identifies them to us. You would actually have to click here and paste the name, and then even paste it here separately, because this could be a number that we assign as a customer number, or something that identifies this customer to us. So that's the difference. And then of course, we don't really need any of these except maybe sales tax, which we'll discuss in a different video. Click OK, and then of course you can double click Alan, and you can make Alan number 1 and Betty number 2, and so on. Just double click, change it, and then change anything you want, even in the other tabs. Then of course, whatever you put here is going to show up there. Then you click OK, and then you've changed their information. You could also add a new customer by simply clicking New Customer, not Add Job, Add New Customer. Then you can put Dave Deeney, and you can put his address, whatever you want, and then of course that'll come in there, and that's how you add or change customer information. And then finally, the items that are on the items list are very important. To change them, right next to the customer button is the items button, and then you get the items list. Now, the items list here is very simple compared to a normal company, and that's because I was instructed to put all items accumulating in only one account in the chart of accounts: delivery, sales, income. In this case, there was no need to make an income account for one type of product compared to an income account for another type of product. So if this client doesn't have to track their income, they just want to know the total sales, they can put each item with their name, whatever description they might want to put, and the price each right here. To edit one, you just double click right on it, and you could change the name here, change the price here. You could even add a description item by item as you want to. Great stuff, whatever you want to put to describe it. Click OK, and then that description will show up in the description field on the order and on the invoice that you send to the client. And that's how you do it. And that's everything that's been set up, and that's how QuickBooks has been customized for a delivery pharmacy that only needs those 3 things.